Yeah. You guys are all blessings on me. Well, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to those of you online. Thank you for joining us on Sunday, September 14th, 2025. The song that was opening today that Madge chose was Blessings on Blessings. So, wonder what the message today might be about. I don't know. But let's go ahead and open with a prayer. This is a blessing of awakening. Beloved source of light and love, we come together this day as bearers of the light flame, as healers, yet each of us wounded and each of us healing, while each of us are still whole. We acknowledge this stirring within us, the signs of a world in transformation that call to awaken in this very moment. As a phoenix rises from the ashes, so too do we rise above what no longer serves, letting go with courage and receiving with trust. Bless us with clarity as we see more clearly what nourishes us and what we are ready to release. May today's words bless us with wisdom. May we listen with open hearts and curious minds. And may the sun's rays warm our uplifted faces. May we feel the warmth of unconditional love, blessing, and filling our uplifted spirits. And so it is. And I invite Madge to the podium.
All right. Thank you, Jerry, for that beautiful prayer. It's really nice. Well, I've had a lot of expressions from people that are concerned about what's happening in our world right now, and both in our nation and in the world at large, and for good reasons. It's we have good reasons for concern. So I'm being called to talk about ways that can help us keep our center, stay connected to our heart, and stay feeling empowered. And the message I gave last week was, or last time that I spoke, was what would love do now? And so this is kind of a follow up to that as well. Giving them blessings is something that we can do. So we're light workers here on earth, as we all feel and know. And we're here at a very difficult time, planetary wise and national wise. And it's for a reason why we're here. We said yes, even though we don't remember saying yes. I'm sure we did say yes. And the world needs us right now. And it can be hard and sometimes scary to be here right now. And it's easy to fall into the feeling of hopelessness or a feeling of what difference can I even make? We can feel like that my little corner of the world is not going to help. My little drop in a raging ocean is not going to make a difference. But the good news is your drop is powerful beyond your imagination, and your drop does make a difference. And it's beyond what you can even imagine. We just have to have ultimate faith that that drop is powerful and that drop does make a difference. We just don't very often get to see the difference that it makes. We just have to know that it is so. We are a powerhouse of energy creators. I can't remember exactly what the ratio was, but somebody did the science that if they took the power that we have in every cell of our body, the energy that we have in every cell of our body, we could like light up a city. That's how powerful our physical form is. So I hope that this message and the messages that I've been giving help us, give us tools as light workers of things that we can do to stay centered and stay in our light. So today I'm going to talk about blessings. Hard to guess that one now, isn't it? Not the Southern kind of blessing, like, oh, bless her heart for being so ugly. She can't help it. Not that kind of blessing. You can insult anybody with blessings in that regard. Anyway, but the kind of blessings that we're going to talk about is to bestow goodwill and goodness onto another person. To bless someone is more than a courtesy. It's a powerful opportunity of transformation. And there's a difference between a blessing and a prayer. And the difference between them is that a prayer is typically addressed to a deity or God or source or great spirit or creator, and we're empowering ourselves with something, empowering spirit with something, asking for something, usually a healing or guidance or help with something. Whereas a blessing is to declare or bestow a favor or a goodwill to another person, seeing a good outcome for them, or a grace or a positive intentions for someone or something. Or our food. We bless our food, right? We can do blessings over our food. Well, to bless someone for the purpose of bringing in more abundance or happiness into their life is really powerful. And but if we are doing it for ourselves to get something back, then it's not clean and pure. But to just give of our heart, because that's what we see for them, it's clean and pure. And if our blessings to others is to create a spiritual environment that will result in more harmony and more goodness in our own life, that's not so clean and pure. I'll give you a blessing because I want it to have a good impact on my world. It will have a good impact on your world. It's part of the golden rule. The golden rule of treating others as you would like to be treated, interestingly, is a principle that is in all religions. It's in all religious texts. Doesn't matter what denomination it is, there will be some sort of a phrase that means do good unto others as you would have others do unto you. So to bless someone is to visualize the person surrounded with all the goodness, health, abundance, joy, all the joy that you can imagine. And it needs to come from your heart, or at least from your feeling center, so that you really feel it. Random acts of blessing, such as when you're in line in a store, in a grocery store, or someone is broke down along the road, is really powerful as well. I've been saying the Ho'oponopono prayer as I pass the homeless people. That's what I've been doing for a while now. And that one, I don't know if you're familiar with it, it's to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it's not something that that I'm personally sorry for, but I am sorry because our society is not helping them. And I feel like our society has let them down. So it's like, I'm sorry. Or at least if I don't have all of the wits about me to say the whole thing, then I just, as I drive by, it's like, I'm sorry. I feel sorry that our society's let them down. But lately I've been switching it up to blessings rather than that one. I've been saying a blessing to them and trying to send them a blessing and seeing them in their best self, seeing them with success in their life, that they can start coming out of the hole. And either way, it's better than criticism or judgment. Whatever goodness you can stir up in your heart, it's better than criticism and judgment. So these kinds of blessings are easy compared to sending blessings to someone who's done you wrong. These are they're more subjective or objective, whichever way that is. Um, and those are the easy ones. But so often, if someone's done you wrong, to stop and send blessings to them, it's a little more challenging. I remember so well when I worked in human resources, every so often we get somebody storming into the office demanding that we take their soon-to-be ex-spouse off of their insurance policy. They never wanted to see their name again. And we would have to gently tell them, no, you cannot take them off your policy unless they can prove evidence that they have other coverage, or uh, or the divorce is final. And oh man, they'd be mad. And it's like, this is probably a good time to work on blessings, because it's not easy in those kind of situations. Obviously, somebody did them wrong. They're outraged. They're angry, you know. So sending a blessing to someone when they've betrayed you or damaged your property or harmed a family member is much, much harder. And in the similar message that I gave last time about what would love do here is equally challenging to think about. What would love do here? Well, send them a blessing. It's like part two. Yeah, that's right. So in the book, The Gentle Art of Blessings, I've been rereading this one again. As you can tell, I've read it before with all these little markers, by Pierre Pratervand, I believe is how you say it. He says there's no formula for blessings. It's just a joyful attitude of your heart, and it's not a ritual, but it's the sincerity in which you say it with is what's important. To just be sincere and from your heart. And the story that I'm going to share is one of Pierre's stories that he shared of someone going through a really difficult situation to navigate. Well, he actually, this was his story of navigating it and using a blessing as a resolution. And he shared that early in his practice of doing blessings, of blessing others, he was organizing a big concert for a fundraiser for world hunger. And he had this wonderful group of Afro-Caribbean musicians to give this lively dance music type concert. And they were doing this for free because of the cause that it was for. And it was a really big deal. And it was being held at a large college hall. And the technician that was supposed to support the event and support the team and the musicians wanted nothing to do with it and was not cooperative, was rather hateful. And they had to call in a second technician just to run the lights and the sound because the first technician just would not cooperate. Well, 2 hours before the concert was to begin, the first technician went through and took all the mics except two off the stage for no reason except just to be spiteful. And they tried to talk to the technician about it, but the more I talked to him about it, the more hostile he became. So Pierre recognized right away that, well, his first response was anger. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? You discover it and it's going to ruin the whole thing. The first one is to be angry. But then he realized that anger was not going to solve the situation, was not going to make it better. So he silently started blessing the technician, blessing him with in his own goodness, blessing him in abundance, blessing his integrity, even though he didn't have any at the moment, but he knew it was in there somewhere, blessing his health, blessing his relationships, everything that he could imagine. He sent blessings to this young man. And he said, suddenly, for whatever reason, between two sentences, he switched. And what became a disgruntled, hostile attitude, all of a sudden he had a smile on his face. And he was super cooperative. And he's like, what? You know, he just switched over and was helpful. And he went back into his lab and grabbed a handful of mics, pointing out which ones were the best ones to use, and wished them a wonderful evening. And he's like, whoa, what happened there? Who flipped the switch? Well, the blessing flipped the switch. He felt the vibes. He received the goodness, the good vibrations. I mean, that song is for a reason, you know, it's a real song. And it's changed him. It alchemized him. So sending blessings is to alchemize whatever you are sending blessings to. It's a powerful enough transformation, powerful enough energy to transform what was negative into something positive. That's how powerful we are when we get our heart and our feeling center involved. And this is why we bless our food. We don't just do it because our mothers did it or our family has done it. We bless our food to alchemize our food, to make it compatible with our body, to change the chemistry in it. So we literally change the energy in our food with words and thoughts so that we can receive it and our body is more harmonized. So the food is more harmonized with our body. So if you think about that, that's really wizardry. It's magic in a way, in its raw form. We're changing things. So by sending blessings to prayers, we're doing the same, or to people, we're doing the same thing. So Pierre doesn't work, or he does work a lot in Africa. So he had a lot of stories from his experiences in his time there. Another one of the stories that he shared is a letter that he received from a mother from a small town in Africa. The whole town started studying his book or his text about blessings, and the community just started sending blessings to everybody that harmed them. And there was so much more peace and harmony in their whole community because of what they were doing. It changes the giver as well. You're changing the environment you live in. Another letter came from a gentleman also from Africa. He said that he started making blessings an everyday experience in all situations. And he said it's becoming a part of his marrow. It's just getting in the fabric of who he is. I love that term. Becoming a part of his marrow. And he's noticed that what is happening for him in giving blessings freely without condition is a sharpened sense of sharing, of justice, of equity, and solidarity. He went on to say that he's become more patient and more tolerant, forbearing and understanding, and more sensitive to the needs and the effects of others, his neighbors. And so he feels enhanced by it for himself. And it began with an easy, this is the gentleman that wrote the letter. He says, when it began, it was easy and yet difficult to forgive someone who had deliberately harmed me, is what he said. And then he understood that he only needed to master his own heart. I thought that was really powerful. We don't really change others. We master our own heart and then we send it out and the change happens for them. And then it does come back, but that's not our point. Our point is to send it out. And sometimes we just can't get to that place where we're going to send a blessing to somebody that's done us wrong. I've been there. It's like, I'm not ready yet to think good thoughts. I need to work on it. So when that happens, you can say, well, at least not yet. And give yourself grace, as Jennifer's talk last Sunday was all about grace. So give yourself grace. Recognize it's a place that needs to be healed. I've got some healing to do. I can't send out that blessing yet. There's still too much other stuff in the way. But it's something we'll work on. We'll make a commitment to work on it. So one of the techniques is to find a really quiet space where you won't be interrupted and you won't be disturbed, and take some time to work through it. Be real honest. Get real honest, bare bones honest with yourself. And do some breathing, stretch your body, because the muscles in our body holds memory. It holds trauma. It holds those feelings. So do some stretching, some light exercises, and release those vibrational frequencies that are stored away. And when you're ready, ask yourself or ask Spirit to help show you, what do I need to learn to have a breakthrough? So you can do some self-healing around this. And then let this come from a serene heart and the desire to heal. And that resentment, if you hang on to it, is only going to create havoc in your own body. It's going to create havoc in your life. And God wants, or Spirit wants us to be our best selves. It's always working for us to be our best expression. So trust that, and trust that what comes up for you is going to serve you and be what you can use to advance yourself. So this practice not only alchemizes the situation or the other person, but it alchemizes and heals you as well. It heals us. We get the benefit from it. And that allows us to be really well onto our road of being our best selves, expressing our higher self. And here's some guidelines for incorporating this practice into your life. One of them is to wake up in the morning and just bless your day. Start off by blessing this brand new day, which when I was writing this, it was reminding me of my grandmother. She would never let any of the family get out of bed grumpy. If you approached her in the morning grumpy, she'd send you back to bed and say, you go back to bed until you can wake up cheerfully, because you don't have the right to ruin my day. It's a brand new day and you're not going to ruin it for me. So you go back to bed. Isn't that good? These people that tolerate their children waking up grumpy and screaming and crying is just like, no, it's a beautiful day. It's a brand new day. Don't start out that way. You can bless people wherever they are or wherever you are. Your blessings can serve as a light to brighten their day, just passing people on the street or in the parking lot. They won't even know why they have this sudden wave of lightness, this sudden wave of, I just felt better. They'll have a lightness hit them, and they won't know why, and it's not for you to worry about. It's just the gift that you give because of you are a light worker and you're spreading it out there. And even if it doesn't affect them in the moment, you're planting a seed, and that seed will grow when the soil is right, when the soil of their life is right, and it will blossom later at a time when it's most favorable for them. And you just have to have faith that that happens that way. When you go for a walk and you send blessings into the neighborhood, bless the houses as you go by, and send blessings to our government. They need it too. I drive by the Capitol and I always send them blessings. I drive by the hospital and I send them blessings. That's always been kind of a little habit of mine. And now I've kind of ramped it up to be more intentional about it. And it just serves a good purpose all the way around. Sending blessings to those that are having a difficult time, or that are having a difficult time with you, like you're in a situation where um, you might be having a fight with somebody, or your neighbor's not treating you right and they keep doing things that make you angry with the fence line, or who knows, whatever. When you send them a blessing, you're also protecting yourself. It's also a shield. And I thought it was really beautiful to think of it that way, because what you're doing is creating a positive field around you. And negativity coming at you is deflected because it's not compatible. So it serves as a shield. And I've been having a lot of people lately saying, "What can I do to help protect me?" Because they're feeling the negativity of the world, or feeling the negativity of people around them. And by sending a blessing, you're creating your own energetic field that's a barrier to that. And it's a protective thing that you can do, creating your own force field of positivity that's not compatible with another person's negativity. You can't, and what you can also do is to start out with just wishing them. Sometimes it's kind of hard to come up with a whole blessing kind of thing, especially if it's a difficult situation. But it might be easier to start out with a wish. I wish for them their goodness. I wish for them that they find their abundance in their world. I wish for them good health. That might be easier said than a blessing, you know. So start where you can. Fill in the blank. I wish for them whatever. And this can help you get started and overcome the struggling of trying to be sincere in a blessing. So it's a start. Start somewhere with it. And I struggle with it sometimes too. Sometimes we just are not ready to let go of the fight or the situation. How often do we rerun the story in our head and the argument? And of course, when we rerun the argument, we always win, right? I do. I always win my arguments in my head. Yeah. So sometimes we're just not ready to be done feeling sorry for ourselves, or let go of that victimhood or the martyrdom that happens out of these painful situations. But just recognize that, and when you are ready, start working on it and start healing, and know that you're going to get there. And start with a wish, and then move into the blessing. So it makes it easier, breaks down our resistance a little bit. And it can take a lot of integrity. It does take a lot of integrity to send blessings. We have to be pure of heart. We need to be sincere and really mean it. And that's integrity. So it boils down to love in our heart and a connection to God or source or great spirit, and seeing all as one, meaning all as one with the capital O, that oneness of spirit. It's really something. And I want to share with you, before we move into meditation, a prayer that a friend of mine gave me when I retired. She retired right around the same time, and she was a nurse at the hospital. And she gave me this prayer that was her daily, that she said she had it at her desk, and she said this every day as she came into work. She said, I'm sharing my daily work prayer with you. So this is a prayer, but it could be a blessing as well. It's one of those could be. Anyway, she said, I pray to do my best, to do no harm, to shine light into someone's darkness, to be a good listener with my heart and my mind, and to make good decisions. I pray to be a good help to my coworkers and a positive presence in the clinic. Amen. Isn't that lovely? Wouldn't you just love to have her as your nurse? She nursed many, many people in the, what do they call it, Shapes, or the Ivy Clinic, where you go in for, daily treatment of antibiotics or chemo or whatever that was. Anyway, that's where she worked. And she worked there, not in that department, but she worked at the hospital for 30 years. And that was her daily prayer. Isn't that lovely? It'd be lovely to have a practice of blessings in the same way with blessings that we say, just to start off our morning. So let's go into a little meditation and let's practice what we have been talking about as blessings. So get yourself comfortable and let's think of someone that we might be struggling with or a situation that we're struggling with. If it's personal, maybe larger than that, maybe global, whatever that is, that's a weight in your heart. And let's just open our heart to our most authentic self, that love center in our relationship with Source, where we know and have confidence that all is one. And let's send a blessing to that situation or person or event. And let's just bless them with the love in our heart. I send you the blessings for today and tomorrow. I send you abundance, that your bank accounts may be full and that you can pay all of your bills and more to share. And I send you all the goodness that your heart can hold. And I see for you good health, the best of health, your body healing in all ways. And if it's an organization, we can say, I see all of the departments in this organization operating for its highest good to serve humanity. I see for you that your families are connected and healthy. And we can go on with the things that we want to see for that person. That they experience safety in their environment. If it's in a larger organization, that they create safety for the people that they serve. And we can continue on with whatever it is that we want to see and feel for them, and let it be genuine. If it's a family member, our neighbor, and just continue to bless them with all the goodness that they can contain, whatever the situation is, and alchemize that situation into a spirit of goodness that matches the vibration of the love in your heart. Safe travels, companionship, fun journeys, joy in their heart and joy in their life. We can wish for them that they find the joy, find the connection to spirit, find the connection and the expression of their higher selves. That their career fulfills their dreams and desires. And on until it feels complete. And take another nice deep breath and just know that it is so, and just release it out into the world. And now it's not your responsibility. You've done your part, and let your own heart be filled with joy that you did, that you had the courage and the wherewithal to send a blessing to that difficult situation. And let it be so. Amen. All that goodness just went radiating out into the world and vibrating across wherever it needed to go. And you have your own bubble of goodness around you, your own bubble of protection. All right, I'm going to invite Jerry up to do the offering, and then he's going to share a little inspirational story and the closing prayer.
Thank you, Madge. That was really, really beautiful. The meditation was great. Okay, so as we get ready for this offering, please hold it in your hand and close to your chest. And know that as this offering is prepared, may each gift carry the energy of generosity, alignment, and sacred intention, knowing that we are a part of the greater circulation of good. We know that whatever you can give is multiplied for the highest healing, for the highest growth and service for you and this community. As the offering basket is coming around, we thank you for all of your generosity and for continuing to support our good works here at the Home Center. And so it is. Thank you very much. So yeah, that was such a great message today. I have not really an inspirational story, but just a couple of quick little points of humor. So I've got a silly blessing, a wise blessing, and one that's heartwarming. So we'll start with the silly one. And a little boy was asked to say grace before dinner one day. He bowed his head and he said, "Dear God, thank you for this food, even though I don't like broccoli, but I'll eat it because Mom says it's a blessing in disguise." But God, that's a terrible disguise. So the wise blessing with a twist of humor is a spiritual teacher once was asked, "Master, how can I know if I'm blessed?" And the teacher smiled and said to him, "That's easy. Take a deep breath." And he did. And then the master said, "Now release that deep breath." And he did. And then he said to the student, "You've just received two blessings that you didn't even ask for." So the wisest blessings are sometimes those we forget to count, right? And a heartwarming blessing. An elderly grandmother once said to her grandson, "Every night I thank God for the blessings of the day." And the boy asked Grandma, "What about the bad days?" And she laughed softly and said to him, "Oh, sweetheart, on the bad days I thank God twice. Once for helping me survive it, and once for reminding me that tomorrow is another chance." And blessings aren't always what goes right. Often they're the strength to keep going. So, in closing, I'll offer this prayer and blessing of renewal. But before I do, actually, I feel compelled to comment, if I may. I was touched for a moment to ask myself, who am I, listening to Madge's offering of the message today? Who am I to offer a blessing? And while I am a minister in training and an associate here, that hit me. And then I realized I am one with all. That all is one. Every single one of us are. There's a part of us that is God in every single one of us. And so each of us are that blessing. We do have the right to offer blessings. And that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Madge. So in closing today, Spirit of all that is, we have gathered today as healers, as seekers, as a circle of light. We've remembered that endings are not lost, but invitations to rise and to finish what is passing and to prepare for what's born anew. Please bless each soul here with the strength to tie up what needs completion, with the grace to walk forward unburdened, and with vision to soar freely into the promise of tomorrow. As we leave today, may we carry this blessing outward, this blessing of renewal, the blessing of hope, the blessing of rising again, and the blessing of offering our blessings. And so it is. Thank you for those of you who joined us online, perhaps in a different time, in a different place. We're so glad that you could be here. From our heart to yours, we're signing off. And I'll turn it back over to Madge for announcements.